Most of us believe that negotiating only takes place in the business world. In fact, it permeates all aspects of our lives. This show is about how to negotiate with the people in your everyday life and win.
I used to be like them. I used to play that game. Only you know what always happens? Somebody loses. Thanks a lot. So even if you win, you feel guilty. And of course the whole thing just starts right up again, only this time the pressure's more intense because the competition's greater. Yes, in this kind of environment, even the nicest people go to their worst behavior. In a loving environment, that wouldn't happen. And finally, when you've done it, when you've won all the marbles, you've got no one to share them with. And somebody's always out to get you. How did I get out of this losing game? Well, I found a way to win in which nobody loses. Meet Dr. Tessa Warshaw. She taught me how to be a win-win negotiator. Now, this is not a designer's label. It defines the way in which I deal with the world. And everybody has their own style.
We all have style. Some of us have more than others. We flash it in numerous ways, in the way we talk, walk, sit, stand, the clothes we wear, the words we use, the homes we live in. But few of us recognize that our negotiating style begins in early childhood, when our emotional buttons are being pushed, and we respond automatically to confrontation.
Give me it back. I want it. No.
By the time we're teenagers, we have a style of behavior but lack the skills, experience, and awareness of how to get what we want.
I just don't want, okay? You love me, don't you?
Yeah, but I just...
Mommy told me you love me, don't you?
Stop it, Danny.
Come on, right now.
I mean it.
Come on.
Stop it.
No. What'd you do that for?
I told you to stop it.
Jeez.
Even in adulthood, knowing the tools and tactics of negotiation, we sabotage our victories by expecting open warfare.
To be honest with you, Frank, the proposal just doesn't knock me out.
Don't spar with me, George. I mean, you got me hanging on the ropes, and I don't know what to tell anybody.
Look,
Unfortunately, most of us have learned only to spar with our negotiating partners. We see the world divided into two camps, winners and losers. Ultimately, a belief like this makes us all losers.
Developing a win-win style, on the other hand, means that we all can be winners. It's a style based on mutuality.
are you kidding?
I'm not saying that all the styles are bad. We all have our assets and liabilities. The win-winners are simply healthier. They've made the decision to put their energy into accentuating the positive, not the negative. Everyone has a negotiating style. We fall into one or a combination of 6 different styles. See if you can find yourself or anyone you know among them. We'll start with the jungle fighter.
Naturally.
Why don't we start with your assets?
Well, I'm creative, ambitious, charismatic, charming, competitive. I've got a great sense of humor. All around, I'm pretty terrific.
Oh, if you don't say so yourself.
I am a great dancer.
Well, I'm sure you are. Now, what about your liabilities?
The life of the party.
Your liabilities?
Liabilities? I don't have any liabilities.
Aren't you sometimes demeaning?
Only when they deserve it.
Oh, I've often seen you put people down in public, especially people who work for you.
Only when they deserve it.
You're pretty untrustworthy sometimes, aren't you?
Who told you that?
Some people say you're quite vengeful.
I'll get them for that.
Let's take a look at a real situation and see how each person's style affects how they negotiate or try to get what they want. This is Laura, a bright, successful career woman. Like most of us, she's a blend of styles, but her dominant style is jungle fighter.
Henry, I'm sorry. I was so busy this morning, I forgot to call ahead for a reservation. My husband, Steve, will be joining me here any minute. You can squeeze us in somewhere, can't you?
Well, I'm sorry. I can't promise you anything because we are very busy today.
Henry, look, we do have a reservation right there.
You do? Where?
See, under the name Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton.
Ah, yes. How could I have missed that?
That table by the window would be just fine.
Well, I'm sorry, but that table is already reserved for Mr.
Thank you, Henry. You're a sweetheart.
See how she touched Henry's elbow and waves to friends? The jungle fighter is definitely a social animal. Meet the dictator.
I don't have much time.
This won't take long. Tell us about yourself.
I'm assertive, organized, poised, decisive, shrewd, analytical, and efficient.
A born leader.
You got it.
Anything about yourself you might want to change?
Like what?
Well, you get awfully obsessive about details.
I'm a perfectionist, if that's what you mean.
It seems that no one ever does anything good enough, fast enough, or creative enough for you. Has anyone ever said you're intimidating?
That's fine with me.
Don't you always think you're right?
Correction. I always am right.
If you could name one thing that's more important to you than anything else, what would it be?
Control. Are we done?
Yes. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
This is Dick, the president of a young but thriving computer firm. He's also primarily a dictator. See how he shakes hands? He probably just broke Henry's fingers.
Yes, Mr. Wilson, we have a table ready for you right near the bar.
I specifically asked for a table by the window.
Rule number 1 when dealing with a dictator: never promise anything you can't deliver.
If you'd like to have a seat in the bar, I'm sure a window table will open up very shortly.
I'd like to speak to the manager.
The manager, sir.
When dictators want to get something done, they go right to the people who have the power to do it.
I bring a lot of business here. When I reserve a specific table at a specific time, I expect it to be ready for me.
Yes.
I'm sure your boss will understand that.
Oh, well, I'm sure that you don't
One
have
of
to
his
talk to Mr.
biggest
Cipriani, sir.
concerns is to get something back for his time and energy.
And a window table will open up very shortly. I'm sure of it.
5 minutes. That's all I can afford to wait.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
And now the silhouette. Where are you? Ah, there you are.
Hey, not so close.
Sorry. Why don't you tell us your good qualities?
I don't like to blow my own horn.
Okay, you're modest. What else?
I don't know.
Well, you're motivated, aren't you? You're discreet, creative, loyal, trustworthy, self-sufficient. Anything else?
I'm quiet.
Don't you think you'd get more of what you want if you made yourself more visible?
Oh, I get what I want.
How?
You know how some people kill with kindness?
Yes.
Well, I kill with silence.
This is Steve, Laura's husband, in a real-life silhouette. Note how uncomfortable he is. Too many people. The silhouette is definitely not a social animal.
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't see you.
Didn't notice him as more like it.
Do you have reservations,
Is my wife Laura here?
Your wife? Oh, yes, of course. She didn't have time to make a reservation, but I managed to find a table by the window.
Sorry, Henry. Silhouettes don't waste words or anything else. Now a look at big mamas and daddies who use their generosity to get what they want.
Gum? Cough drops?
No thanks.
How about a mint?
You really do like to take care of people, don't you?
If you're happy, I'm happy.
You'd never try to manipulate me with flattering attention, would you?
How can you say such a thing?
Just asking.
I'm shocked and hurt.
Sorry, I just wanted to be sure you weren't being overprotective.
Not at all. I just know what's best for you.
Of course you do.
I want you to feel free to come to me with anything that's bothering you.
And you'll give me good advice.
Trust me. You sure you don't want a mint?
Here's Phil, Big Daddy who works with Laura. Look at that warm embrace. A dead giveaway for his style.
It's good to see you again, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, where should I sit today?
Oh, well, sir, you didn't call for a reservation.
I didn't.
No, sir, you didn't.
Oh, Henry. I'm so sorry. I must have thought that I called you because I was talking about you so much today.
About me, sir?
Yeah, with my brother. He's a real estate agent. Remember you told me you were looking for a house?
You remembered that, sir?
Of course. Henry, you're my buddy. You always give me the best table on the busiest days.
Well, yes, sir, but today we are really packed.
Look, here's my brother's card. He's got a great two-bedroom right on the river.
A river house, sir?
It's a real steal, Henry, and nobody else knows about it. He's expecting your call.
Where would you like to sit, sir?
The table by the window would be just wonderful.
No problem.
You see, big mamas and big daddies always have an ulterior motive for their acts of kindness. Next, we have the soother. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What do you want to know about me for?
Well, for one thing, you're a nice person.
You think so? You wouldn't just say that, would you?
A little insecure, but nice.
Yeah, I guess I'm cheerful most of the time.
And you're helpful, gracious, appreciative.
And loyal, too. Just call me anytime. I'll be right there.
Even if it means getting involved in a conflict?
Well, fighting's not exactly my forte, if you know what I mean.
What do you think of the new Woody Allen movie?
I don't know. What do you think?
You're pretty indecisive, aren't you?
Am I? Well, if you think so.
You don't have to agree with everything I say.
No, of course not. But you're right.
This is Joan. Once again, you see the unmistakable signs of the soother. The lowered head, the nervous gestures, and certainly the timid approach.
Excuse me. Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I didn't want to bother you. I have a reservation.
Ah, Mrs. Wilson. Yes, your husband's already been seated.
My husband?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. We're not married anymore.
Oh.
I mean, we're separated, and he must have made a separate reservation.
Well, I'm sorry, but I only have one table reserved under your name.
What am I going to do?
Well, you could have a seat in the bar, and I could put your name on a waiting list.
Oh, no. I wouldn't want to put you to that trouble.
Oh, no, ma'am, it's no trouble at all. I should have something for you within 10 minutes.
Oh, all right. I can wait then. I'll wait back there in the ladies' room.
Oh, ma'am, that's not the ladies' room. That's the kitchen.
Last but certainly not least, we have a stylist who knows that negotiating is not only a question of how much you can win, but how much the loss will affect the other person. This is a stylist who knows that he's not a victim nor an intimidator. The win-winner.
If I didn't know you better, I'd think you were biased.
I am, but the other stylists won't be so easy on you. You're on, Silhouette.
I think you talk too much. Well, I like to talk, and I assert myself when necessary. But I do try not to brag, because that could get me into a lot of trouble.
You give things up too easily. Fickle.
Well, I'm not afraid to walk away from a situation that's not working. And I'm as loyal to people I like as you are, even the people I don't like. I think you're weak. Why? Because I help the other person to win? The bond of collaboration can be very strong.
You're not aggressive enough.
Well, I'm not into creating problems. I'm into solving them. It's all in how you look at it.
That's right. The win-winner has simply made a decision that life is a collaboration. And once you make that decision, you don't hurt, humiliate, or demean the other person.
I think, what? I think it's easier said than done.
You need to simply go one step at a time. You need to know your own negotiating style and the style of your negotiating partner. To go on being oblivious to style is to continue losing. I'm into showing you how to win. If you've been thinking of asking for a raise, here's how not to do it. Just about everything in this office situation needs changing.
John, cut it out, John.
I love it. Steve!
What's happening, huh? Hi, John.
Meet John, part jungle fighter, part class clown. Although he's obnoxious and sometimes downright nasty, he's run rapidly through the corporate ranks. Why? Because he's a terrific salesman.
See today's paper? Slasher got another one. Look at this. Hope you already had your breakfast.
Don't you have some work to do?
Are you kidding me? I'm up to my eyeballs in paperwork. Way too much for the slave wages I'm getting. Why do you think I'm going to go see Dick this morning? My time's worth a hell of a lot more than he's paying me.
John, I'm really trying to concentrate.
Steve, loosen up. Come on, you got to learn how to pace yourself. Oh. Okay, I'm off. Wish me luck. Want the paper?
This is a perfect example of a lose-lose negotiation. Silhouette Steve isn't making anything different with his silence, and Jungle John, so absorbed in himself, which is his typical way of being, that he hasn't picked up any of the body language, such as the stiff back, the averted eyes, the raised eyebrow. Let's see how he deals with Dick.
Hey, Dick. How you doing?
I'll be with you in a minute.
Jungle fighters have trouble sitting still. John, look at Dick. Pay attention.
I prefer you not to smoke in my office.
Oh, sure. Oh, I got us court number 3 today.
Fine. Oh, good. 12:30?
As usual.
Good opening ceremony, John. Dictators don't like a lot of small talk.
What can I do for you?
Well, you know that cost of living increase that's coming up?
Yes.
It's not enough to feed my fish.
Whoops, wrong move, John. Dictators don't have much of a sense of humor when it comes to money. Pay attention to the body language, John.
I mean, what is it, 8%? I mean, give me a break. You know, shoe salesmen make more than that on commission.
That's another thing about jungle fighters. They don't know when to stop.
Well, I'm afraid there's not a whole lot I can do about it. There's a corporate freeze on wages for the rest of the quarter. A memo's going out tomorrow.
Fine. It's good, because I'm asking for a raise today.
Sorry, John. My hands are tied.
I don't believe this. Yeah, Dick, I'm probably your most valuable player. Apparently that doesn't matter much around here.
Uh-oh. John's emotions are taking over. When you get angry, you get off the agenda.
I don't have time to discuss company policy with you.
Yeah. You never seem to have time when it's the other guy's point of view.
True, but bad timing to bring it up now.
Are you finished, John?
Don't push, John. Don't force him to go to his bottom line.
If I really told you what I was thinking, you'd probably fire me.
I may anyway.
Get out of there, John.
Oh, come on, Dick. You wouldn't do that, would you?
Underneath all that bluff, jungle fighters like John are often cowards.
Goodbye, John.
Racquetball, 12:30?
It's too late, John.
Goodbye, John.
Right. Bye.
John was lucky. If Dick had gone to his bottom line, he might have been fired quickly and ruthlessly. Other stylists might have handled him differently.
I would have convinced John that he was lucky to be in the position he was. And that just as soon as possible, I would help him out. As long as he didn't make waves.
I wouldn't have said a word. I'd have let him talk himself into a corner, and then I'd have cut him down with 2 words. You're fired.
I'd have devastated him. He would have crawled out of that room.
I don't know. He's such a good salesman, and he's so young. I guess I get somebody else to fire him for me.
If John had done his homework and been prepared for his meeting with Dick, he wouldn't have gotten so out of line. He neglected to remember that strategy isn't a dirty word. First of all, he needed to know what he wanted, and certainly to know what his boss wanted. Second of all, he needed to design a strategy that took into consideration a contingency plan, just in case something unexpected happened. You know, life is a drama, so why not rehearse for it?
Damn. Now I have to do the whole thing all over again. I hate that.
Let's take a look at another negotiation for a raise, and this time watch and see how preparation and recognition of style pay off.
You don't need all that caffeine to get the promotion. You know, you're a walking nuclear reactor.
That's supposed to make me feel good?
What are you so worried about?
What if I don't get the raise?
Well, it won't be because you didn't give it your best shot. Hey, we've both been planting seeds with Helen for the last 2 weeks, and the timing is perfect. Walter just gave her the Houston account.
Maybe you're right.
But all this doesn't mean getting a raise is going to be easy. Come on in.
Hi. Have a seat. I'll be with you in a minute. Bob? Come in, Bob.
I read you.
Bob, hold my calls till I'm out of this meeting, okay? And then when I'm done, please remind me to get back to Lithgow Del Monte.
Roger.
Thanks, Bob.
10-4, over.
Bob's a CB freak. He's also a ham radio operator. He has girlfriends in about 15 countries. The only problem is he's a rotten linguist, so they just sit around listening to each other's static. You're here to ask me for a raise, aren't you?
Well, you've been through this often enough to know.
Laura, instead of using a sarcastic thrust like John's, start with your achievements.
I won't waste your time telling you why I think I deserve one, except to say that in the last year I've acquired 3 major accounts for the firm, won 2 national awards, and haven't caused too much trouble.
Not too much.
And I have 5 written client recommendations.
I'm impressed. I am. But unfortunately, I have some bad news. Mr. Prather just decided to freeze all wages across the board till the end of the year. Sorry about that. I just found out myself.
Come on, Laura. Come up with that option.
What have you changed my category?
To what? There is no category between your position and mine.
Create one. You need a new designer, right? Chances are if you hire one, I'll be kind of supervisor. The company's growing. It needs a new art director.
Oh, well, I don't know if the budget could handle that right now.
Now, give her a trade-off.
I wouldn't need a separate office.
You wouldn't?
Well, not right away.
Okay, quiet now. Let her think about it.
Well, I couldn't make the decision alone.
Oh, I'd be happy to talk to Mr. Prather.
Oh, no, I think you better let me handle Walter.
Great. Now follow it up.
When will you let me know?
I should have something for you by tomorrow afternoon.
Terrific. Thanks, Helen.
Bye-bye.
Negotiators have different views about money, depending on their styles.
Money is power.
I'll drink to that.
You can use it to get anything you want.
Especially people.
I like to loan it out. Then they owe me.
Not me. I don't give anything away.
It slips right through my fingers.
Scrooge had the right idea about money.
I can't ask for a raise. I always think the answer will be no.
I only invest if the prospect for return is excellent or better.
I get what I want by appealing to their greed.
The trick is to know how much you're worth. And go for it.
Gee, what am I worth?
I've often thought it quite a paradox that the place we need negotiating the most is the place we negotiate the least, and that's the family, where the stakes are the highest for time, for attention, for affection. It seems as though we go on automatic pilot and float through our personal negotiations. Take Joan, for example. While she was living with Dick, she totally absolved herself of all responsibility for decision-making and capitulated as a soother to his dictator style. Now that she's separated, she's assuming more responsibility and attempting to bring harmony to the new family structure. Watch as she's influenced by the different negotiating styles while she tries to find her own winning way. Are you ready, gang?
Ready!
Bye, Mom.
Mom, it's Danny's turn to clear the table and dry the dishes.
Be strong, Joan.
Danny?
Come on, Mom. The guys are waiting for me, and I got a baseball game to play.
Stand up, Joan. Use those lungs.
Danny, you clear this table right now.
All right.
Hey, don't let her get
Where do
away.
you think you're going?
Elliot's coming to pick me up.
The jerk.
That boy is trouble. This boy Elliot worries me.
He's nice.
Nice boys don't wear their hair like that.
Amen.
She thinks it's sexy.
Creep.
Did I hear the police raided the club the other night?
What? Get out of here.
And they took Elliot to the station, didn't they?
Bastard.
Sit down, Lisa.
Is this true about the club?
Is this true about the club?
You have a right to remain silent.
Is it?
Not a word, kid.
Is it?
Excuse me. Pardon me. Joan? Joan, I told you, you're a soother. You can't desert me by adopting all these other styles. Now look, you're gonna have another disaster fantasy.
Soothers always expect the worst. That's what stops them from going into action.
One more step, Copper, and the girl will never wear headphones again.
Mom?
If you ever go to that club again, you'll be grounded for 3 weeks.
Lisa, I'm talking to you.
Not yet.
Answer me!
Now.
You're worse than Daddy ever was.
Lisa used the Silhouette's ultimate weapon, silence. And when a soother like Joan, who's also a talker, is confronted with such silence, it makes her frustrated. And the frustration turns to anger, and the anger turns to rage, and the rage turns to hostility. And before you know it, you have Jungle Fighter Joan. And when such emotions get in the way, Joan is crippled with anxiety and anger. What do we do when we're crippled? A good deal looks bad, a bad deal looks good. What do you do to take care of it? You certainly need to buy time. Are you ready to give them some time?
I'll try.
Good. Then let's go back to the dining room and see what would have happened had the family not been yelling and screaming and kicking and hollering, but instead had tried brainstorming.
See you later, Mom.
Mom, it's Danny's turn to clear the table and dry the dishes.
Mom, look, I got a baseball game and the guys are waiting for me.
Danny? We go
Talk to
through...
Danny alone.
Lisa, could I talk to Danny alone for a minute?
Excuse me.
Now talk about baseball. Listen, if you put it in terms that you can identify.
Danny, in baseball, if you ignore the rules, what happens?
You get kicked out of the game.
Well, you remember last week when we made up that schedule and you agreed to clear and dry one night and Lisa was going to wash, and then the next night you would switch.
Well, and the thing is, the guys are waiting.
Okay. You have 3 options. You can stay and do what you agreed to do. You can go and create a lot of bad feelings around here. Or you can modify.
Well, how do I modify?
You work out a trade-off with Lisa.
Well, like what? What do I do?
That's up to you. Exchange something that she wants for something that you want.
Well, whatever. Lise? Lise? Lisa?
What?
I got a deal for you. If you do my chores tonight, I'll do yours tomorrow.
Elliot's coming to pick me up.
When?
8.
Well, that gives you plenty of time. And tomorrow after dinner, you can leave.
I don't think so.
She's not getting anything extra out of it, Danny. I think you better make the deal a little more attractive.
I'll fix your radio for you.
Good. Very good.
When?
Tonight, when I get home.
Okay.
Wow. Thanks, Lise. See you later, Mom.
How am I doing, Tessa?
That's a home run.
I have to talk to her about Elliot now.
Yeah, but don't give it to her all at once. That's a full thrust. Get into it gently. A little warmer.
Lisa? Lisa, how do you sit down? I just want to talk to you a minute. Hey, I like that new nail polish.
Yeah, neat color, huh?
Very nice. You going to that club again tonight?
Elliot's band is playing.
You like his music, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
music's definitely her thing.
it's great. He's gonna sign a record contract with Columbia.
Okay. Now, express your concerns.
Well, Lisa, I am very worried about that club. There is going to be big trouble at that club some night, and you're going to be caught right in the middle of it. It's going to
Joan, you're getting upset.
The cops make the trouble. Elliot says they raid the place only to keep the
Lisa,
neighbors happy.
I am not going to argue
Okay,
with
now,
you.
time out. Take a time out, Joan.
Why don't you go in and wash the dishes, Lisa? I'll be in a minute and help you dry.
If I promise to postpone tonight's date, do you promise you won't get all paranoid and crazy?
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Am I paranoid?
Oh, come on, Joan. Let's face it. You are a little.
Agree or I won't call him.
Agree.
I agree.
You ready, guys? Ready! It's time to do a cost-benefit analysis.
Weighing the pros and cons of a negotiation can help you come up with a winning solution.
His appearance is so grotesque. How can you want to be seen with anyone that looks like that?
That's just the way you see him. All the other kids think he's cool. Really, most of the other girls envy me.
He's so arrogant. Always ready to fight.
He's nice to me. I don't mind that he knows how to take care of himself. Kind of makes me feel protected.
Well, he looks like he takes drugs.
Not around me, he doesn't. He knows how I feel about that stuff. Really, he's cleaned up a lot since he started going with me.
I still don't like him.
You still don't know him.
Meet with him. Talk with him. Find out what he's really like. What do you have to lose?
Invite him over for dinner tomorrow.
You mean it?
Go ahead, call him.
Thanks, Mom.
What does he eat? Raw meat?
Mom.
Okay.
The cost-benefit analysis is simply another negotiating tool. It helps us clarify our options. The more options you have, the more trade-offs you can make. The more trade-offs, the more negotiating power you have. But be cautious. You need to know your negotiating partner's options, too.
It's passion. It's the hunt. It's very useful.
Your place or mine. It's my place or nothing.
Sex is okay. It's intimacy I try to avoid.
I'm just a guy who can't say no.
I know what you want.
Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8.
Be generous to each other. It's important to know what both of you want.
Just don't ask for commitment.
Massage. Don't be perverse.
Where else would you get what you get from me?
I'm always looking for love and romance. So how come all I ever end up with is sex?
It's difficult for us to accept that much of what goes on in the bedroom is negotiable. But it is.
That was a good one. Good night, babe.
Hey, don't go to sleep yet. Don't sleep yet.
Oh, I gotta get up in the morning and make a report, hon. So, okay?
Can we at least just talk?
Honey, would you mind turning off the music, please?
You know what you are, Steve?
And what?
You're a slug, Steve.
What?
A slug. An egocentric, garden variety slug. What the hell do you think you're doing? Get him. Oh, Steve, I'm sorry.
I have an important presentation tomorrow. What do you think you're doing?
You think I have needs too, Steve? Oh, your priorities are so screwed up. You think sex is an obligation, don't you? A token of intimacy. Talk is extra, right?
I said it was good tonight. Didn't I say it?
Why? Because it lasted more than 30 seconds?
I can never please you. You're never satisfied.
What do you mean by that?
You've been reading those magazines that tell you have to have 19 multiple orgasms every time.
Get him tight.
Oh, listen, Tarzan. I don't have to read a stupid magazine to know that a quick roll in the hay once every 3 weeks is pretty slim pickings.
Well, that's the way I am.
Don't pull that calm, collected routine.
Just go back to bed.
Look, Laura, I really don't have time for this right now. So let's just do it another time, all right?
Don't talk. Just sleep.
Good night.
Son of a bitch!
Better go in now.
Right. Whoa! How am I going to deal with Laura and Steve at the same time? They don't call me Win-Win for nothing. You bet.
Why did you have to get me into that?
Oh, come on, the guy's a selfish pig.
Oh, it's not all his fault.
Oh, it's your fault he's a selfish pig?
No, but maybe I'm just not being clear about what I want.
What do you want?
Great. You're here to spoil the fun.
What do you want from Steve, Laura?
A divorce.
All he ever thinks about is work. I want him to pay more attention to me without my having to beat him over the head about it.
Good. Now, why don't you just write that down?
Why?
So that you can negotiate for what you want.
Better make it look like an inter-office memo or he won't even read it.
Look, I do make lists all the time. I just don't give them to her. See? Need more time to myself when important office work to do.
Well, that's good. Well, why don't you add this? That you will agree to give her as much advance notice as possible when you need that time. You're just spinning your wheels, buddy. You'd like him to talk more about his feelings, right?
Yes. I want us to be together when we're together. I want time to communicate.
Okay, now put that down and be specific. You'd like 3 nights alone. No TV, no movie, just the two of you alone.
How dull.
Well, she's always pushy. I feel very awkward when you force me to dance.
I'm telling you, give her the cold shoulder for a couple of days. She'll come crawling.
That's part of the problem. Laura wants you to talk more. Now, what are you going to do about that?
Hire a parrot.
Good. Now turn the paper over and write down those things you'd like me to do in bed.
What?
Just write down the things you'd like to do in bed, honey.
What do you mean?
Well, you can think of some things, can't you, Steve?
Well, well, sure, but I couldn't write them down.
Oh, well, okay, then you just have to tell her those things you want.
No, I'm writing.
That's very good. Access. Okay, now what do I do with it?
You pin it to his chest.
Well, it sounds like he's up and about in there. Why don't you take it into him? Why don't you give it to her? Why don't you give it to her right now?
Okay.
Good.
Here goes nothing.
So long, sucker.
How about I guarantee you 2 nights a week instead of 3? I just don't want to promise something that I may not be able to give. Besides, you bring Rick home, too.
Only when I have to, and I don't hide behind
I
it.
don't hide behind.
Oh, who goes into the bathroom with a book and locks the door every time we try to talk about us?
I do that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
Do I really drive you nuts when I try to introduce you to people?
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know. I just got in foul mood instead.
Well, I'll try to work on that.
Why don't we have dinner tomorrow night and we can deal with the rest of these things?
Okay with me.
Of course, there's 1 or 2 things that we can touch on right now.
I'd definitely like to discuss this last item with you.
Oh.
What does power mean to me? It's the name of the game. The reason for all the combat.
All the marbles.
The more people need me, the more powerful I feel.
I don't ask them to do something. I tell them to do it.
I guess helplessness is power.
Silence is power.
When they can't do without you, you've got them by the...
Real power is the ability to motivate others, to accept their ideas, and make them partners instead of adversaries.
People often give their power away by allowing the negative aspect of their style to dominate the negotiation. A big mama will undermine her position by not allowing others to spread their wings.
Everyone needs a helping hand.
A jungle fighter will fly into a rage.
The world is full of idiots.
A dictator will become totally inflexible.
I'm right, you're wrong. That's all there is to it.
A silhouette will simply withdraw into a self-made cloister.
If anyone calls, I'm not here.
And the soother will simply do anything to avoid conflict.
I know, that's right. That's what I do.
In this world of win-lose and lose-lose negotiation, power has a constant companion, intimidation. Intimidation is probably the meanest of all the negotiating cripplers. Why? Because it can paralyze you for a moment, for a minute, for the duration of the negotiation. Now, how do you handle it when you're intimidated by something or someone? Be prepared, physically, psychologically, and creatively. Remember, each new negotiation is another hurdle for you to jump over.
What is it?
No problem.
This is just for you.
Hey, do we have to do this? I'm serious.
Hey, you have feelings about that?
No.
So negotiating with each of the stylists requires a different approach. Take the jungle fighter, for example, who can be savage and merciless, but can be handled. Don't let the jungle fighter know for a minute you're afraid of him or her, and get yourself a support network. You'll need one. They wear you out. Know the facts when dealing with a dictator. Insist on becoming a joint decision maker, or they'll make the decisions for you. Stick to the issues on which you know you can win. Keep it short with the silhouette. Try not to be intimidated by their silences. You'll only talk yourself into a corner. And watch out. They're good at diversion. The way to stop being intimidated by big mommies and daddies is to stop seeking their approval and telling them everything. Eventually, you'll have to leave them. But don't burn your bridges. You may want to find a way back. intimidated by a soother's apparent helplessness. Insist on commitment and encourage them to follow through. Watch how Big Mama uses the soother to get what she wants. Remember, if you're too afraid of intimidation, you'll get stepped on too.
No, forget it.
What's wrong, Steve?
What?
What's wrong? You seem kind of down.
Oh, there's this big electronics convention coming up in Tokyo. And Dick,
Isn't sending you, huh?
well, he hasn't exactly made it official, but,
But it doesn't look good for you? Well, what's so important about this convention?
Well, it's the biggest one.
You want to go to Japan, don't you? You loved it when you were over there with Laura, didn't you?
Oh, it was okay.
Come on, admit it. You loved it.
Okay, I loved it.
So who do you think he's going to send?
Who do you think? Daffy Duck.
Stop it. Cut it out, John.
Hey, give me 5, Jack.
Don't call me Jack.
Oh, nice suit. Where'd you get it, off the rack at Woolworths? Seriously, Steve, you got to start thinking about creating an image. I mean, look at me.
This is my image.
Hey, okay. But if you're going to insist on blending into the background, people are going to treat you like a part of the furniture. You know, it never fails. You always get me talking. I guess it's just a natural urge to fill in the vacuum.
All right, that's enough, John.
Now, Steve, temper.
Morning, Dick.
Hey, Dick. I got us court 3 again today.
Oh, fine,
Yeah,
fine.
well, they get to know me down there. You know?
How's your back?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Do you really want to go to Japan, Steve?
Yes.
Then you've got to make some changes fast.
Well, like what? You want me to dress like Bozo the Clown?
No, that's his style. You have to make yourself more visible. Think about a custom-made suit.
Oh, it's too expensive.
Remember the cost-benefit analysis? Don't ask how much it would cost you to change your style. Ask how much it would cost you to stay the same.
But it's not me.
Come on, give it a chance. Try a new look. Listen, let's practice some small talk.
I don't know what to say.
Didn't you ride on one of those bullet trains in Japan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're amazing. Do you know they average 135 miles an hour?
That is amazing.
Hey, Dick, that's really a man's world over there. I hear those geishas are really something.
But what's this?
That's the commissary. It's Sony. It's incredible,
Hey,
huh?
Dick, I got us court number 3 again today.
Well, did you visit Sony while you were there?
It's on my phone.
I toured the research department.
That's very interesting.
Dick, I made a lot of friends while I was there. I'd like to see them again.
Why don't you join me for lunch? How about sushi?
How does it feel to be a winner, Steve?
3 to the lady in my left.
Nowhere is our individual style more entrenched than in playing cards. It's where we have the choice to play it safe or take a risk. It's similar to everyday life, where in order to win, we may have to change not only our styles, but our tactics as well.
Just one. One possible stray, possible bluff with that common. Dealer is going to take stand pat. Stand pat.
Don't get greedy.
Huh?
Why do you always have to go for the jugular?
Because that's the way I win.
That's how you lose, too.
You gonna bet?
Hey, look, don't rush me, okay?
You check? I'll start the betting. 100.
Look what you're doing. The body language. The raised eyebrow, the pursed lips, the stiff-necked posture. You're trying to intimidate them, aren't you?
Why not? It works, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it works. They're afraid of you. That's why this is the first time they've asked you to join the game. And the last.
So, where are we playing next week?
Where are we playing next week?
Your house.
I'll see your 100.
Where's your 100?
Ah, now that's what I call a poker face.
I know. That's how I win.
Yeah. Yeah, that lack of emotion is great for poker. But it doesn't work at home, does it? Doesn't even work at the office, does it?
No.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to smile when you're happy, would it?
Hey, watch out for this one. He hasn't smiled in the last year.
Take a good look at your card.
I think I fold.
What are you doing? Don't drop out, dummy. You have a great hand.
I don't want to lose.
You're sure to lose if you stop now. Bet on yourself. Take a risk.
I've never taken any risks before.
You never won before either.
That's true. All right.
Okay. Where are we playing next week?
What's wrong with my play?
Sounds fine.
When it's on my turf, I have more confidence and I win more.
Aren't you getting a little tired of taking care of everyone but yourself?
Yeah, I am. How come we never play at your place? Your bet.
I'll see you. You're holding back. In the old days, you'd have taken them for everything there were. Not anymore. I'll just see you.
Well, it's okay if you win this time.
Yeah, you had me sweating on that last hand. Yeah,
I like it when everybody wins.
Thanks for the game, guys.
Good game.
Playing cards is easy. There's always a winner and a loser. But life is a little more complicated.
But it can be a lot simpler if I remember that my behavior has an effect on others. Then I may be a big winner, and I may be a small winner. But I'll always be a winner.
None of us live in a vacuum. Everything we do has a ripple effect on the people around us. Take an honest look. Are the people in your life happy? Are they getting what they want? Are you getting what you want? If you're not, you now have an option. You have an option to try the win-win way. Begin to use the tools and tactics and strategies to help you become more successful. Begin to take a look at the style and the impact it has on your life. Take a chance. What have you got to lose? Each time you view this show, you too will see new ways to change your behavior and shift your negotiating style to a winning one.